I was waxing poetic there, and I think I cut myself off. But I was finishing up on chapter 11 there, the passing of the firstborn. Again, very important chapter to read, and a very popular one to write about, or that I've seen over the years. Chapter 12, you don't have to read. You may if you want, but you don't have to read it. The Coming of John is a literary text, literary short story that Du Bois writes, literary parable, I guess you could call it. It's based on a Negro spiritual called The Coming of John. At least the title is. And then he works this idea of two Johns. One is Black John and one is White John, who live in the same um, town, right? And he intertwines their two stories, their two sort of coming of age stories into one. And again, to another great expression of double consciousness, this time in a literary way, not a memoiristic or philosophical, historical, or sociological way. And then he ends with the sorrow songs. And I really think that Du Bois is very underappreciated for his musicological insights that he brings to this text. Obviously, there's people who supersede him, after the fact, but I've always been impressed with the fact that he wrote this and that he wrote it at all, and then when he wrote it. It's a very sort of remarkable text, and I think if you consider the whole text to have a musical component to it, I think it's even more remarkable. So here he will talk about the idea of double consciousness as it arises out of folk songs and spirituals, laying the basis, which he doesn't write about because it's 1903, but laying the basis for blues, jazz, rap, right? Sort of, the entire sort of spectrum of black music. So he's writing at the dawn of sort of uh, black music and its transcendence in American pop culture. But a lot of good points he's making here, and musicological argument that he's making at the same point, and then finishes with the afterthought. So that's a brief run through of the text. As I said, I've prompted it out, and I've covered many of the things that are in the prompts, but good luck working the text on your own, and we'll see what you do in the voice thread.